Xenoverse 2 is a very fun game, for many reasons. The amount of characters inside the game, the amount of attacks you can use, but something that's not fun inside of Xenoverse 2 is charging your ki. Charging your ki in Xenoverse 2 has always been notoriously slow. Starting with energy, full power, maximum charge, you charge about a ki bar every 2 or so seconds. So if you had 10 ki bars and you do the math, you'll realize you'll be charging your ki for a crazy amount of time and that you're just better off not even bringing a charge up. In DLC 9, Dimps attempted to fix this problem by adding 2 new charge up skills into the game, Burst Charge and Ultimate Charge. Well, they certainly help negate the really monotonous task of charging your ki. Burst Charge only charges about 3 ki bars every second, so you'd be constantly spamming the animation just to get your ki up. And due to the fact that these skills were based off maximum charge, you'd be leaving yourself open for attack. Ultimate Charge, on the other hand, was debatably even worse than maximum charge because of how long it took to charge your ki. So the way Ultimate Charge would work, you'd start charging your ki very slowly before it would speed up gradually as you charge up more ki. So if you had 10 ki bars, you'd want to use Ultimate Charge for sure. But the startup charge was so slow that using this in anything else outside of a parallel quest was just a death sentence. So that's what I aim to fix today in my new gameplay enhancer update. This update is out as we speak and the download link is in the description. In this new update to my gameplay enhancer, I'm going to be introducing a ton of changes. The first change being that every single charge up skill inside of Xenoverse 2 was buffed to a massive degree. Every single charge, barring full power and energy charge, has been buffed to a crazy degree. Popping the skill now, you'll charge your energy almost instantaneously. Depending if you have Burst Charge or Ultimate Charge on, Ultimate Charge will take a tiny bit longer, but you'll be able to charge your ki almost instantly now. So now, if you and your friends have this add-on installed, you can freely be able to use charge up skills in this game, as before you pretty much were just better off not even running a charge up because of how long it took, but now in this new update, all the charge ups were massively buffed. However, that's not the only thing I introduced in this new update, as pretty much the gameplay enhancer I vision it as a giant quality of life patch for Xenoverse 2 to make it even more fun in my opinion. And something else that was always bothering me inside of the Xenoverse 2 was the character's revive speed in quests. If you remember going down in a mission, especially custom missions, how long it would take you to get up, well, I aim to fix that now, and the fact that all the revive speeds were massively buffed. You'll revive about twice as fast now, though it's still not too fast and you can still die from it, but this is just a way I put in to maybe circumvent how bad the AI is, because when you go down, their pathing to you can get all messed up, and getting revived is a really monotonous task, so I went in and buffed the revive speed for every single character inside of the game. And yes, before you ask, this also applies to the CAC as well, for the revive speed and the charge up buffs. However, that's not the only thing that I changed. As with the gameplay enhancer, along with it being a huge quality of life update, it's a way to make the cast characters feel a lot more unique than the CAC, making them stand out a lot more and giving you an incentive to play as them. But with this new update, for the first time in this add-on's history, I actually go in and buff a Super Soul for an existing character. You might be thinking though, wait a second, if you buff a Super Soul, can't the CAC use it as well? Yes, technically if you mod them on, but SSBE Vegeta has a Super Soul called This Is Everything I've Got, which the CAC cannot use no matter what. SSBE Super Soul is different than the CAC's, even though the CAC has an identical Super Soul, it has a different ID number, so I can buff SSBE Super Soul when his specific ID number without the CAC being able to access it. SSBE's original Super Soul only gave him ki recovery for 30 seconds at the beginning of the fight, and that's it, and nothing else. Meaning, bringing SSBE to Vegeta to anything that's not a PvP game is pretty much a death sentence, and you're just making yourself worse off by proxy. So with this new update, I aim to buff SSBE Super Soul to make him the force to be reckoned with. SSBE's new effect for his Super Soul is now he will always have that ki auto recovery with no limit, and a second effect I added to his Super Soul is when his HP is under 30%, all his stats, including his speed, ki, and stamina recovery, go up by 20%, but his attack damage goes up by 30%. So this Vegeta under 30% HP is a crazy force to be reckoned with that will just completely mollywop anything in his way. This effect does work in PvP, but it does not work in the vanilla game PvP. This effect will only work against a friend, as this add-on does not work online, only with other people who have this add-on installed. So feel free to bring SSBE against your friend and actually be able to get some great mileage out of SSBE. He was already pretty good in the base game, but this new Super Soul, in my opinion, will make him even better. SSBE Super Soul wasn't the only one I buffed. I also buffed MUI Goku's. If you don't know what MUI Goku Super Soul does, first of all, it's called Ultra Instinct, and it's a Super Soul the CAC cannot obtain. The Super Soul in the base game, I'm not gonna lie to you, was already pretty good. You got 20% to all your stats whenever your HP was under 50%. However, I added a second effect to this, wherever when his HP is under 18%, his stats go up by 50%. It doesn't stack with the first one, so you don't get 70%, you just get a 50% stat increase under 18%. This makes Goku, when his HP is very low, a really tanky threat and one who can dish out a lot of damage, but it's when your HP is really low, so you better be very careful and play defensive when your HP gets low. The added damage reduction will help you stay alive a little longer, and the attack and speed will make you fast and formidable. So hopefully, like SSBE, MUI can get some more mileage out in PvP and especially hard parallel quests. However, that's not the only updates I introduced introduced to the gameplay enhancer, I introduced a few more things I would like to talk about. So, you guys know Breaker, Energy Wave, and Last Emperor, and how cool the attacks are, and the fact you can't use them anywhere, except in a quest or in a PvP game when your enemy's HP is under 25% one time only? Well, in this new update to the gameplay enhancer, I actually fixed that. Breaker, Energy Wave, and Last Emperor can be freely used now with no restrictions whatsoever. These attacks will now cost 5 key bars as opposed to no key bars, and you can use these attacks whenever you please. All of those updates I just went over are live at the current time of this recording. You can go to the link in the description and download this patch, the 4.0 update to the gameplay enhancer. There's also a new HUD I introduced. However, this is where the bad news comes in. At the current time I'm recording this video, the patcher is down and you cannot actually install this add-on. However, the version I just discussed is in the description. Though I would like to give you guys a sneak peek to what's coming up in the next update, which will be out when the patcher gets updated. So you can try out all the previous features I just listed and all the new features I'm about to list. So in the 5.0 update, of course I, add support for the DLC 17, as if you're not aware, I already have the entire gameplay enhancer ready to go. I just need to update some files when the installer gets updated. However, pretty much the patch is ready to go for DLC 17, and something I'm pretty sure a few of you guys will like. Every single quote regarding the Hero Coliseum from Bulma has been removed from the game. It's extremely obnoxious going through a quest, losing, and then coming back to the city and having Bulma yell at you about the Hero Coliseum. Every single quote from Bulma has been removed, along with every Conton City TV quote from Supreme Kai of Time has also been removed. If you guys remember inside of the 3.0 update for the gameplay enhancer with the remastered expert missions and how long the add-on took to install, well, I gave the remastered expert missions a choice to be installed now. So if you don't want to sit there for 5 minutes waiting for the add-on to install, you don't have to install the expert missions. They now have a choice to be installed rather than being a forced installation. Along with that change, another optional feature was added into the game. A bunch of new character stances were added into the game. This is another optional choice alongside the expert missions you can install separately if you so please. Pretty much what the stance changes are, I go in and change the base stances of various characters like Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Gohan, Bardock, etc. to get new stances. I'll showcase some of them right now for you guys. If you guys have a keen eye, you'll notice a lot of these stances are from the hit mobile game Dragon Ball Legends, and I would like to give a huge shout out to Crystal's Legends Decompiled Assets folder on Google Drive. Without that resource, this entire stance update would have been impossible to add in. So hopefully you guys, when the new update comes out, you're able to give these new stances a shot. Moving on from some cosmetics into actual gameplay-oriented changes, MUI Goku now has a 4th variation, yes. I figured out how to add in variations without the needing of X2Ms and just the installer, so I'm able to add in variations to characters now. So I thought it no more fitting to give MUI Goku a 4th variation with access to the new Ultra Instinct Awakening skill. Sure, it's a little redundant as he's already Ultra Instinct, but the animation where Goku teleports in front of the enemy and then does that really cool arm pose where the enemy gets hit by pretty much the air because he's hitting him so fast is not able to be done by MUI Goku, so I added a 4th variation onto Goku where he can use this Awakening skill. However, that's not the only thing I did. Inside of MUI Goku's Ultra Instinct Awakening skill, it functions a lot differently than the CAC. For one, before Goku transforms, if you press the Ki Blast button, he will now do Soaring Fist or Spirit Pulse depending on if you charge up the Ki Blast or not. Along with that chain to his Ki Blast, he has a completely new moveset before he transforms. However, after you pop Ultra Instinct, his moveset completely changes again to be a more UI Goku-esque moveset. The reason it's like this is because the Ultra Instinct Awakening skill is a great way to counter enemies, and you're able to de-transform and transform constantly to get enemies off of you. So I thought a very fun risk-reward variation of MUI should be added to the character. Though it should be noted before MUI transform, he is a little bit weaker than he would be normally when he'd be post-transformation. However, that's why I added a 4th variation. In case you guys liked his original 3 variations, this 4th one's just a bonus variation I added one to give UI Goku a bit more play, especially with his new Super Soul buff, which is on this costume, by the way. Super Saiyan 4 Goku also now has a 2nd variation with a completely new moveset. Hello everyone, I'm the Dragon Ball Legends producer, Toshi. We hope you all enjoyed the 22nd part of the 5th anniversary where we released Ultra Warden into the game. I do have some bad news regarding that, as the band performed so poorly that I was promptly fired from producer status of Legends, and I have been promoted to Xenoverse 2 producer status instead. And in celebration of this momentous occasion, we are releasing a new charge-up skill into the game completely free to play. As you saw in that gameplay enhancer update video, Super Saiyan 4 Goku now has a new variation. And in this new variation, we are adding in a new charge-up skill. Take a look. Yes, you saw it, folks. It's a very fast charge-up skill, which goes very well with this new update that buffs charge-up skill. This skill is very good, as when you charge up in the air, you will notice how fast you charge. However, this skill is a bit different and has a bit more complexity to it. In the air, it charges up very fast, as you can see. However, if you go down to the ground and use the skill also, you will notice a delayed startup time. During this period, and the screen flashes red, if you tap the A button when charging, you will actually unlock 15 key bars for 30 seconds. And then if you fly back in the air, you will be able to charge up super fast again. While the charge up is slower on the ground, you will actually be able to unlock your full potential, your full primal potential, if you will, to be able to destroy your enemies in combat. We hope you will all enjoy this new update to Xenoverse 2 in the next gameplay enhancer update when the patcher does get updated. So hopefully we will see you all there. I know that was a bit satirical, but yes, that new charge-up skill you guys saw is going to make its way into the game for Super Saiyan 4 Goku's second costume, so hopefully you guys are excited for that. Some other changes I would like to go over very quickly are all characters with the festival skills. You know the festival skills, right? The one that were added in DLC 17 free update? Well, those skills now, for example, God Punisher Festival, Super Spirit Bomb Festival, Arm Crash Festival, Innocence Bullet Festival, etc. Every single festival skill that would be on a cast character has been dispersed among the roster evenly to give to characters who need the skills. For example, all of the base game Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta variations now have God Punisher Festival, in addition to Super Spirit Bomb Festival being added to Wii Symbol Goku, and of course the Goku who killed Kid Buu. The festival variations are unchanged for the most part, but you can now use these festival skills outside of their intended variation and get some more play out of these skills, except with one variation you have no reign over customization about. It should also be noted that various festival skills were added to the roster in general. For example, Kid Buu, Super Buu, and Janemba now have access to Innocence Bullet Festival, Topo, God of Destruction, now has access to Arm Crash Festival, and so on and so forth. You could check the patch note for a bit more detailed breakdown on who got festival skills and who didn't. If you guys have any suggestions for some characters who should get certain festival skills, feel free to leave a comment. Some other changes that I actually ended up introducing were a Charge Key Wave buff. Charge Key Wave was also buffed along with the charge up to where this skill would now give it a crazy amount of stamina back. Jiren now has Darkness Rush Melee instead of Super Key Explosion for his second ultimate attack. I found it more fitting because of the I-beam at the end. And finally, the Vegeta that fought Frieza, in the outfit that's similar to his Cell Saga outfit, now actually has blue aura instead of red, because this is around when Vegeta became a good guy. And of course, adding the festival variations to the data. That's about it for the new gameplay enhancer update. This update will go live when the patcher gets updated, so hopefully you guys are looking forward to it. If you guys have any other suggestions for skills, changes, variation additions, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. But guys, I'm all out of time for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.